What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and if it's your first time, thank you. Today we're diving right into the pros and cons of living in this bustling city of Charlotte, North Carolina. My name is Mitch Boraski, Senior Real Estate Advisor, located right here in the great city of Charlotte. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, if you're considering relocating from maybe another major metropolitan market, I am happy to be a resource for you. All my information is on the screen and below this video. But without further ado, let's get started, guys. Jumping right in, the first pro is the booming job market and economy of Charlotte. We are the second largest banking hub behind New York City in the country. We have Bank of America's global corporate headquarters located right here in Uptown Charlotte. We also have Wells Fargo's East Coast operations is also located right here in Uptown. And there are many other financial institutions and corporations located right in Uptown Charlotte. Now, there's some other notable corporations that I want to make you aware of. We have Duke Energy headquartered here, which is one of America's largest holding companies for electrical power. We have Atrium Health and Novant Health, which provides thousands of healthcare workers jobs across our state and city. We also have Amazon, which has a major fulfillment center here located right outside our city. We also have Lending Tree, which is another headquartered company here that has 1,000 employees in many locations around the US. And lastly, we have Lowe's Corporation, which was founded in 1946. They employ 2,300 retail locations in the United States and over 300,000 workers. They are headquartered just 30 minutes north in Mooresville. So you can see there is tremendous opportunity here in the economy if you are a job seeker. However, I don't want to forget our small business culture. We have a growing intensity here in this city. And actually, there was a recent survey done by Lending Tree that says Charlotte is one of the best cities in America to start a business. Now, this poll was done and studied with over 100 of the largest U.S. metropolitan markets in the United States, and Charlotte has ranked at one of the top places to start a business. So if you're thinking about relocating a business, maybe starting one, getting a fresh start, Charlotte is also a great place to look. I hope this pro helps, but let's get to number two. The second pro for our great city is the cost of living. Now, comparing to other major metropolises in the country, Charlotte is less expensive. If you go to bankrate.com salary converter, as you can see on the screen, Charlotte is less expensive, and it's anywhere between 30 and 50% depending on where you're coming from these major metropolises. Now, in terms of home prices, according to the St. Louis Fed, at the end of 2022, the average home sale price in the United States was about $535,000. During that same period, Charlotte's average sale price at the end of 2022 was $437,000. So we are relatively less expensive than other major markets and even below the US average for sale price in the country. Now, people say, well, Mitch, it continues to get more expensive here. Well, yes, it does. But if you look at places like, Boston, Philadelphia, New York City, Miami, Chicago, LA, San Diego, these major cities, we are definitely less expensive, which has been a very attractive place for people to relocate to because you can really leverage up, get a lot more bang for your buck, and have a great lifestyle here, which is why the cost of living is a pro. Another pro is the sports and recreation environment that Charlotte offers. We have major professional sports here, such as the Carolina Panthers that play at the Bank of America Stadium, as well as our latest Charlotte Football Club, which is our professional soccer team. We also have the Charlotte Hornets that plays right downtown in Uptown, and we have a great minor league baseball stadium where the Charlotte Knights plays that has an absolute beautiful view. I highly recommend going to a game at night. It's a tremendous stadium. And we also have minor league hockey with the Checkers and a host of other sports and recreation events going on at the city at any given time. Now, we're also in the South and the climate's really nice. So some of you may be asking, well, what about the golf courses? There are 26 golf courses in Charlotte and around, so there's plenty of recreation to do. We also have some major bodies of water to go boating, water skiing, tubing, such as Lake Norman, which is about 20 or 30 minutes north, and we have Lake Wiley, which is just south, about 20 or 30 minutes. So there's always something to do in Charlotte, and keep yourself busy and entertained, but the sports and recreation environment is really eclectic, it's high energy, and that's why we're calling this one a major pro. Another pro is the weather. Given our location being on the East Coast and about halfway between, the Northeast and South Florida, we have a great climate. And given the fact that we're inland, closer to the Tennessee border, we don't have, and we're not receptive to major weather events such as hurricanes. We don't get any major tornadoes. We don't get any major snow. We really have a great climate year round. Now we do get all 4 seasons, which is great. So you are going to get some variation between the weather, but you're not going to have major weather pattern swings like you may see in the Northeast where you're digging yourself out from that snow, or if you're in South Florida and God forbid a massive hurricane rolls through. So Charlotte, for that reason, is a pro because our climate is fantastic year-round, so you can enjoy a lot of outdoor activities. Charlotte also has some great cultural attractions. There are fantastic arts and festivals and theaters to visit. One of the more notable ones is, of course, the Blumenthal Theater right in Uptown. I would highly encourage you to check that out. We also have the Mint Museum, which is another great place to go. But as you can see on the screen, we have a lot of events in this city around our arts and culture that really makes it unique and really a feeling of community. I would encourage you also to check out some other local websites that we have available that just really keep you plugged into the city. Again, as you can see on our screen, another great one to look at is Axios Charlotte. There's also others available that I would highly encourage you to take a look. But the cultural attractiveness of our city is certainly a pro and why many people migrate to our area. Now that we covered the pros, let's take a look at the cons. So the first con would be the traffic and congestion. With our growing city, of course, we are getting more and more traffic as more and more people relocate here. So that's causing much longer commutes and certainly some stress on our existing infrastructure. Now, some of the major infrastructure areas that I personally feel are getting really congested would of course be on 485 during certain times of the day, of course the commuting hours in the morning and in the evening. Also on 77, which runs north to south, that can get congested at times during the same business hours, morning commutes, evening commutes. And then you have other ancillary roads in Charlotte, like Providence Road and 51, as you can see on the screen. Those are major arteries that people travel on to commute into work, to get from some of the major suburbs and areas into the uptown area. So, if you're moving to Charlotte, like any major city, you just got to be prepared that yes, there is going to be some traffic. Now, I will tell you this, it's not nearly as bad as what you're probably going to experience or have in LA, New York City, Chicago, or Miami. We are certainly not that congested, but we are starting to get more and more congested, and that's why we have this one as a con. Now, the second con would be the walkability of the city. And the reason why I say that is because if you're coming from like a New York City, a Boston, an LA, a Chicago, it's very walkable, right? You don't need a car. You can get around pretty much through the public transportation and, maybe Ubers. Charlotte certainly is a little bit different. In my opinion, it's still a car-dependent city. Yes, there's areas where you can walk around it, such as South End, maybe the Noda neighborhood, Plaza Midwood, and Uptown. But outside of that, if you want to get to the surrounding neighborhoods, you're really going to need a car, a vehicle to get around, because we just don't have the density that you're going to see in some of these major cities where you can walk everywhere and feel comfortable of maybe not having a car. So I put this as a con for that reason, because if you're coming from a city where you want it to be completely walkable, Charlotte may not be the best option. Another con would be the humidity during the summer. If you're not accustomed to being in high humid environments, this certainly is a con because it can make you uncomfortable and probably quite hot, which is why a lot of times we run our air conditioner for most of the year here in Charlotte because during the high summer months, it gets very, very warm here and humid. So if you're outside, you know, you're probably gonna be prone to sweat, which can be uncomfortable. So I hear this a lot from people that relocate here that, my God, it gets hot and humid during the summer. Yes, it does. I will say there's ways to deal with that, of course, through the AC in our buildings, in our homes, etc. But if you're gonna be outside going for a walk in the major summer months, the humidity definitely can be a con. And the last con would be the limited public transportation in our city. And what I mean by that is the Lynx light rail system right now is our major system that allows residents to get around. And as you can see on the screen, you can see the operational legs of the light rail system and also the future development that will span across our city. So if you are going to be living in one of those outskirts or the suburbs, you know, down the road, we'll have that availability to get into our city center by riding the major public transportation systems such as Lynx. Now, I call this out as a con because if you're coming from New York City, Philadelphia, LA, those cities have massive infrastructure already built through subways and T-lines that have been there for years and years. Well, Charlotte is still a growing city, so we don't have that full infrastructure built yet. It's coming, but I put this as a con for that reason. Now, if, however, you'd like to get around other ways, we do have a bus system that's available. That is great. And we have a tremendous Uber and Lyft presence here that allows our residents to get around fairly easily. But I put this as a con simply because the Lynx light rail system isn't fully developed as of this video in 2023, but it shortly will be, and you'll be able to get around real easy. So those are the pros and cons of living in Charlotte that I personally think are important for you to understand. Again, my name is Mitch Boraski, Senior Real Estate Advisor located right here in Charlotte. If you're considering relocating, moving to the area, and you're looking to maybe buy a house or you're looking for just information on the area, all my information is on the screen. I would love to assist you. Also, the information below this video has links to book a meeting personally with me. Please do so. But until next time, guys, we're gonna have videos coming out every week, and I look forward to talking to you soon.